It's here, guys! Danny pretty much had uploaded the next chapter of Night's Dreams Are Reality. And boy, basically in the last one, boy, definitely a lot has happened. Well, if by a lot, if by pretty much near the end. Actually, it was at the end. Basically on a cliffhanger, basically Starlight. It didn't turn out well for her. But hey, she pretty much did leave Nightmare. But pretty much got sent into the dark ocean thanks to Wise Guy. And we are just going to see exactly what's going to happen in this chapter. So, let us pretty much commence. The soft shades of blues and purples flowed throughout the night sky, with gleaming stars lighting the vast ocean. As the night went on, the tranquility in the wind was elegant as the leaves gently danced in the breeze. Sitting on the top of a tree were two figures. One boy and the girl stared off into the night, enjoying each other's company. They seem familiar. The boy wore jeans, a red t-shirt with a decal of the Bell Bridge Knights. Oh, it's Will and Helen. Huh. I was kind of expecting them to show up. Because honestly, those two videos, we assumed that, well, Starlight did in fact pretty much hanged around with Helen. And then in the next episode, we pretty much saw Clarice as well. So yeah, something is bound to go around. And then number 17 on both sides. Hang on a sec, guys. He had short, dirty blonde hair. What, honey wasn't good enough? At least that's what I think that's what it's called. Soft peach skin and baby blue eyes. The girl beside him wore light blue jeans with a pink and white ruffled jacket. Her golden hair ran down to her shoulders, gently swaying in the wind as her light blue eyes stared in awe at the night's display. Because if you basically remember in the video, Helen and Clarice actually have their hair down, which is pretty nice. When are you going to take your eyes off the sky and on me again? Well, pretty much at the end, I'm guessing this is like a few years later, and these two are dating. Just saying. The boy asked with arrogance in his voice. Not until you apologize about what you said to me about my rollerblade skills, she answered in the same tone. Hey, it wasn't my fault that you ran into my skateboard on those clumsy death machines. At least it didn't say ink machine, otherwise Bendy'd be suing. One more peep out of you about my skills, and I will push you off this branch. She answered playfully. If you can call that playfully. Oh, come on. I know you wouldn't. You love me too much. Just then, the boy felt her arm push him off of the side of the branch. Ah! Okay, that doesn't happen. He doesn't land on the ground. But it makes me wonder how high they are. He landed on to a few lower branches and slowly climbed his way back up to where he was perched on. The heck was that for, Helen? The boy yelled as he got back onto the branch. I told you I would, Will, but you kept going. She offered her hand out to help him up. Will then sat back on the spot where he was before his little fall. That was rude. Helen giggled at his expression. Oh wait, or maybe it was her that said, "That was rude." Danny, honestly, maybe next time you might as well, show which character is talking. And that way I can understand a bit better. I can understand your style of writing, just, just make it less confusing, please. Expression as he crossed his arms and turned away. Remember how heated our fights would get as kids? Will started to detense as he remembered their silly little selves. Yeah, I remember that time when we ended up in the lake and pulling Knights into it. We were all soaked after that. Aw, remembering the good times. And, of course, Knights. Knights slightly does play a role in this. I'm not sure what role Knights is playing. I guess it's kind of like Dream Guardian. And no, I'm not referring to the one that Archie tried to do. Second season. Ugh. The two started to laugh at the vivid memory playing in their heads. Those were some good times, Will. Good times. Good times. Good times. Yeah. Will nodded, agreeing with the blonde-haired visitor. You're both blonde, so But those moments soon turned cold. Where did it all go? Oh, yeah, something happened with Knights. Oh, boy. Helen asked as she tilted her head down. Will leaned over to try to comfort her. He knew it's been tough trying to recover ever since Knights disappeared. We all miss Knights, but we will find her one day. Helen didn't lighten up. It's been years since she first disappeared, since her first disappearance. And now it's been 3 months since they last saw her. So I guess recent visit. I wonder what happened during that time. Danny, feel free to pretty much come up with a way to pretty much clear that up, because I'm not sure what happened right there. Helen sighed as she leaned into Will's chest. Will gently cradled her in his arms to comfort her. I just wish she'd come back. Will agreed with her, but he looked high and low with no luck. We should head back to the Sky concert. Elliot and Clarence will be waiting for us there. Yeah, let's go. Helen said as the two got up from the branch, ready to fly. Yes, they can pretty much fly because, well, after spending time with Knights, they actually found the courage and actually learned how to. Insert "You Can Fly" song from Peter Pan. Until something caught their attention. A bright light falling from the night sky. Was that a shooting star? Helen pondered as she saw a few more fall. The two stared for a while at the display. One of them looked a bit odd, though. What's wrong with that one? Will pointed at the slow-falling light in the distance. Helen observed this strange star as it fell near the rivers of the bewildering forest. I'm not sure if that's a cliche-sounding name for a forest, or that's actually kind of clever. I don't think that is a shooting star, Will, she said in concern as the light disappeared into the trees. A few seconds later, a bright flash for a brief moment appeared, lighting the darker areas of the forest. The two visitors were startled by this as they flew towards the direction of the flash. Near the river's side lay an unconscious figure. The person appeared injured and lifeless as a dark figure pulled her out of the water. I guess this is NiGHTS? Because, well, NiGHTS knew about Starlight, so it kind of would make sense. And nice to say that he is guiding her. Honestly, that's pretty much my guess, because, well, come on. NiGHTS is nowhere around in Nightmare. And they say that NiGHTS is pretty much around in Nightopia somewhere. So it's gotta be a coincidence that NiGHTS is around there. The other mysterious figure checked the child for a pulse or any fatal injuries, in which there were none. The figure laid her down as she wiped the water away from her face, taking in her appearance. Before the figure could take any further looks, a noise coming from their direction made the slender figure take flight into the shadows. "This is dangerous. Maybe we should turn around, Helen," he said, trying to catch up to her, but she seemed persistent about this. "That light looked like something that could be important. We need to at least go and check it out." Helen continued triggering through the river as she came across a figure on the river ledge. "Will, look!" she pointed out as she ran towards the injured figure. Will caught up as he saw the figure. "Is that?" he questioned as Helen ran to the child's side. "Wait! Helen, wait! We don't know if this guy is dangerous!" He quickly ran up to Helen, who was inspecting the child. "She's hurt, Will. We need to help her." Now, I am going to try the British tone of Helen and try with Will. Okay, I'll try. I can do NiGHTS just fine because I do know how NiGHTS sounds. Will noticed the clothing, armor, and marks on the child. Marks the child bared. He was not sure what to think of this as he hesitantly picked up what he thought was a nightmare. "Owl's house is the closest. We should head there." Do you think he would let a random nightmare into his house that we don't even know? What, you guys know NiGHTS? And that's pretty much not strange. What the heck was that? Was that thunder or something? Okay. "We gotta try, Will. We can't leave her here." "But she looks like..." "I know, Will. But this is different. Nightmare wouldn't leave anyone behind like this." "What, did NiGHTS tell you that?" Guess it must have. "She needs help, so let's go." I like how Helen's a bit more determined in this. Huh. Pretty good on you, Danny. You did pretty good on this. Helen said as she looked around, making sure they weren't followed. The two jet out to not seeing the figure watching them from the darkness. Seeing no other purpose to stay, the figure flies off in the unknown. As Helen and Will ran as fast as they could towards Owls, they noticed something. Owl surprisingly nearby. "Owl!" Helen shouted to catch the old bird's attention. "Whoo! Why do you sound so worried, visitor?" Honestly, I have to admit I was actually pretty glad I'm voicing Owl because, well, honestly, I don't know. He's actually kind of fun to voice. "Visitor, this is certainly not appropriate for the channel." I'll get better. Helen hunched over trying to catch her breath as Will caught up. "We found someone who needs your help." Owl flew over to the child within Will's arms. As he came closer, he noticed something about this nightmare's form. Woo! Woo! Owl screeched as he flew back a bit. Owl, I know this looks bad, but she needs help and... Helen was cut off by Owl. No need to lecture, visitor. We need to get her someplace safe, now. Wait, what? Will questioned. Oh, hang on a sec. Hey, Zoe. Zoe. I pretty much got the two dogs in here. Hi, Zeus. Zeus, over here. Just a bit of a cameo, huh? I'm sorry, hang on a sec, guys. Even though she's a nightmare, just follow me, visitor. We must make haste in case we are followed. Owl started to fly off in the direction of his home. Will and Helen quickly ran after him. Owl, we don't understand. How do you know this person? Just come quickly. I'll explain later. Owl answered Helen with no other words as the three headed to the old bird's home. But we don't understand. After the three had settled down and bandaged the nightmare, the three sat in the main living room of Owl's home. No, I'm actually getting the visions that Owl's house is kind of similar to Twilight's a bit. I don't know why, but that's what I'm getting from this. That or Shout Tucker's place. But it's not that big, okay? It just says that he has a big library. That's what I'm getting. Owl had set up some tea for the two as he organized a few books and papers from his writings. How about a good nice bowl of tea with a couple of crumpets on the side? It'll help ease the mood. Because, you know, they're from London. So, how do you know this person again, Owl? Owl put away his last book. My guess is that he used his foot with a sigh and flew down. It's not that I know her, visitor. It is that I recognize her from someone else who is far greater. The two visitors looked at each other, clueless, and let him continue. I have reason to believe that she is the creation of someone I haven't seen in many years. Galaxia the Gracious. That sounds like a Sailor Moon character, by the way. No kidding. When I first read that, I immediately thought, like, Sailor Moon. Because, you know, there's actually a character kind of named It has the same sounding name. That's what I'm trying to get. Anyways, the two visitors never heard of this person before. Who's this Galaxia person, Owl? So we pretty much get that the, creation. My guess is that it's plainly obvious. Remember at the beginning chapter, there were in fact two beings. One was Wiseman, while the other is Galaxia. So yeah, I just thought I'd point that out. It all comes full circle. Helen asked Owl, then flew off to a bookshelf, pulling out a small book and placed it on the table where the visitors were. What I show you both here is not to leave this house. Do you understand me? The visitors nodded as Owl opened the book, revealing strange writings and pictures. As there is a creator of Nightmare, there is a creator of NiGHTS. In the very beginning of time, Galaxia uses the power of the five idea to create the worlds we see today as NiGHTS. Galaxia created many other things, such as the NiGHTSians, and many other creatures that you can't see anymore today. Wait, so if Galaxy is the creator of NiGHTopia, then you must be... Will asked, and Owl was pleased to see that they were catching on. Yes, visitor, Galaxy is my creator, as well as my master. Huh, I was always wondering why he had a gem on him. The two were astonished at the revelation as he turned the pages. Believe it or not, the two used to work together as one crafted this world until Wiseman wanted more. His greed and lust for power basically was too much. He ran off and created his own land of darkness, along with the Nightmarins, and as his first act of ruler, he ordered his new army to destroy the Dream Palace, Galaxia's original Dreamgate, and my home. He said, lowering his head. The two could understand why he would feel this way. It was his first home, after all. Anyway, I was lucky to leave with my life, but the Nightmarins never succeeded in Wiseman's order to retrieve her Idia. Hang on. Okay. Alright, I'm back. Hence the reason she still can create the worlds of NiGHTopia today. But she refused to create any more creatures after dealing such a heavy loss, or reveal herself to anyone in NiGHTopia ever again. The old bird flips the page, revealing 5 strange idiots. Also, Danny, how am I doing with the voice acting so far? Feel free to leave a comment below. These Idia were the very first and the most powerful of them all. Galaxia took it into her own hands to hide them and place them someplace safe so Wiseman could never get his hands on them. In the wrong hands, the Idia could leave a catastrophic effect over all of the night dimension. The visitors were a bit frightened at this thought, but it still didn't explain a few things. But it doesn't explain how you know that, Nightmarin. If you said that Galaxia never made any more creatures after that day, then how can you say that she might be her creation? Helen asked Owl as Owl closed and placed the book back on his shelf. Visitors. 17 years ago was the last time I had seen my master, and during that time I saw her design a very odd creature that resembled a Nightmarin. And needless to say, that Marin looks identical to the one I saw my master create. She thought someone that she could create would counteract a calamity that would befall this dimension. Oh, so Starlight is that important. Makes you wonder how things are going to go around in the next few chapters. Honestly, I just hope there's something good that comes out of this. Because, come on, just seeing some of these characters go in their misery like that. If this is the nightmare that Galaxia had created, then I fear that calamity has drawn near. Before the two could ask about this calamity, something had caught their conversation short in the form of two of more familiar faces. We came as soon as we got as you text us. Two figures then ran into the room. One bared blue spiky hair, hi Elliot, in a basketball, and the other had pink hair and an orange and black sleeved shirt. Hey, Clarice! The main characters from the first game! Visitors, visitors these days never learn how to knock. I'm getting too old for this, Owl said under his breath as the two greeted Will and Helen. So, about the strange nightmare you two found. Elliot questioned as Helen and Clarice hugged it out. Helen was a bit embarrassed at this. It wasn't anything traumatic, Clarice. Stop being a drama queen. Sorry, I just got worried when I heard about this. I just hope this won't end horribly. Clarice said, letting go of Helen. Should we go check on her? Will asked, pointing at the door where they placed her to rest. Sure thing. Girls, stay behind us. Well, it's better to have some meat shields. Hey, I'm not gonna say the cliche thing because, you know, this is a man's job. Gotta stop doing that. Elliot said as Will slowly opened the door into the main library of the house. See, I told you, it reminds me of Twilight's. Making their way to the fireplace where they placed the mysterious Marin. She was absent. What? Will ran up to the lounge chair, trying to find where the nightmare has gone. I put her here. Where could she be? Will said, lifting up the blankets for any clues. Clara stepped up to the chair, placing a hand upon it. It's still warm. She must have just got up. Then where did the nightmare go? I think my Elliot voice is a little weird and off. I'm trying to make him sound older because, you know, it's been like, I don't know, years have passed of the events of both games. So, yeah, I'm bound to pretty much try to make him sound older. I can't do a pretty good job at times, guys. I try. Elliot asked as the others started to look around the room. There's no other ways to escape except the door we just entered. She must still be here. Let's just split up and look. Helen said as they all went in random directions in the maze of owls called a library. Man, Twilight would be super excited about this because, you know, obvious. As the four looked around, Clarice saw a darkened figure hiding near one of the shelves. She slowly walked towards the figure, finding that it was the Marin Will and Helen found from earlier. Hey there. Hey, it's the same thing that Knight says. Oh man, it makes me miss Knights. You know, pretty much what's happened to him. She said in a whisper, hoping not to startle the Marin. The nightmare quickly turned around in a panic and bolted as she ran off to who knows where in the vast room. Hey, wait! Clarence cried out, alarming the other three in the room. Seriously, what was Owl doing the whole time? Was he refilling the tea? You best not be making a mess in there. I had to restock them since the last visitor. That she might have found her. The four met near the back of the library, fearing they lost her yet again, but soon caught Will's eye. It was the nightmare, but she was still trying to hide. Don't be afraid. We're not here to hurt you. Will said slowly, walking up to her. The others didn't want to move and to make her run off again, but stayed alert in case she attacks. I'm not afraid. The Marin answered in a stern yet shaky voice. Then why don't you come out? Helen asked, hoping she might come out on her own. Then you will be afraid of me. The nightmare started to slowly back away, thinking this was the end. Elliot slowly stepped up to her. He stepped up to her. It will be okay, we promise. He said in a calm and friendly manner as he offered his hand out. She looked down upon him as he gave a comforting smile, telling her that she was safe here. The Marin cautiously, I can't believe I'm messing up, took his hand and let him lead her out of the darkened corner. He was a bit surprised to see her pale face as the light gently touched her skin, revealing a few scratches and bandages along her tattered clothing. See? We're all friends here. You're safe. Elliot said gently, letting go of her hand, and took a step back. She looked at the floor, confused, as if she hasn't seen anything like them before. Or has seen... Again, Danny, you have a little bit of some misspellings. It would be nice to, kind of pretty much fix them a bit. Trust me, guys, there's not many of this problem. And please don't hate Danny for it. She's still pretty much getting used to this. Who are you people? And how did you find me? Well, my name's Clarice. And the other girl here is Helen. The boy in red is Will. And you already met Elliot. What's your name? The Marin didn't know how to respond, only giving them a confused gaze. I don't have a name. Hi, Zeus. Hang on. Oh, seriously, those dogs. The four felt saddened about this. Will asked, hoping she might not have amnesia. Yeah, we don't need a Shadow the Hedgehog. We don't need another Shadow. Oh. Roughhousing. It's just roughhousing, guys. You don't remember your name? Can you recall anything before you woke up here? Instead of answers, she's getting questions. Poor Starlight can never catch a break. I can. It's just that no one cared enough to name me. I was abandoned in a dungeon after all. Aw. Danny did mention that NiGHTS was in a dungeon. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Maybe we'll get around to that, but here's the thing. Based on what she told me in the original setup for Dreams of Reality, it was much, much darker. Where Riella would actually have nightmares and NiGHTS would be going through the most horrible pain you can imagine. Torments, alright? Ugh. Seriously, Danny. Honestly, maybe you could put that as slight a bonus. You know, your original idea. I'm sure people would honestly want to know how that would turn out slightly. Not saying you should, not saying you have to. I'm just saying that it would be nice as a bonus, or at least put it in a description when you get to the point. Okay. The four felt bad for her and tried to think of a good name for her. Helen didn't notice a sparkling jewel upon her chest, shaped like a star. Oh, so that thing wasn't a medallion or anything. It was actually a shard. The idea then popped into her head. Will Starlight do? The nightmare turned towards Helen, a bit confused. Starlight? Yeah, because the gem on your chest. Do you like it? You know, this is starting to sound familiar. The fact that, well, NiGHTS actually did, in fact, have an NiGHTS shard, which that's why he has that gem on him. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing with Starlight, only Starlight had a lot worse. The Marin looked down at her chest in disbelief. What the? She inspected the golden gem as it glistened in the light. I never had this before. How did this happen? Will slowly went up to see it in more detail. It seemed to be fused to her. There was only one other nightmare he knew that had the same thing. Aww, thinking about nights? Why do I imagine that later that everyone who these four are gonna, give NiGHTS a big hug? Because come on, NiGHTS really does need it. I can't do anything. It's stuck to your chest. But it shouldn't do anything dangerous. Be anything dangerous. Ugh. It looks like more of an idiot of hope to me. It looks more like an idiot of hope. Okay. He said as the nightmare continued to stare at the bright gem. Starlight. A small smile slowly appeared on her face, hearing that name. I like that name. I think my Starlight impression is actually pretty good. She looked up to face the four. Okay, then Starlight it is then, Clarice said in a happy tone. The name did suit her. Well, did suit her well. And the others thought it was a pretty good name too. But this little moment of happiness would only turn into a world of questions. But this doesn't make any sense. I was flung into the dark ocean. Thanks, wise guy! How am I still breathing? How did I even get here and why? You had luck. You had a guardian angel. That's what. The four didn't know what to say. They had been through the dark ocean and back before. Ah, mentions of the game. Clever. But they never could truly understand it. Sorry, we don't know about you in the dark ocean. But we did find you in the river edge near the bewildering forest. Helen thought this would help her, but the name didn't ring a bell to her. Starlight just looked way too confused and lost to understand as she sighed. I came here for answers, not more questions. Starlight said, rubbing her head. Well, maybe you should rest. You look like you took a nasty hit. Elliot agreed with Will's reasoning. Yeah. Get your rest now, and we might be able to help you out more in the morning. Just hope you guys don't switch bodies. We don't need another moment of the Archie comics getting in there. When you're completely refreshed. Starlight didn't want to rest with still so many questions, but she was tired after what Wiseman had done to her. She took a deep breath and agreed to rest. The visitor smiled at this, and the five leave the library, hoping Owl could get the Marin a room for the night. Owl did cooperate since she seemed a bit too tired to fight and no real threat to anyone. When Starlight was put to rest, the four already had to head back to the Dream Gate before the Awakers came to get them. Because honestly, in the game, you actually fuse with NiGHTS, so that you aren't going to be taken by the Awakers. However, if you basically stay around and you don't fuse back with Knights, then the Awakers are going to come and get you. Which, in other words, game over. You know, you wake up. You don't die. I will wish the Force safe travels and that he would watch over Starlight as the best as he could. Owl didn't get much sleep, though. He feared the Nightmares were possibly looking for her, or had already come here to attack. But his main concern was trying to figure out where her idiot shard had come from. And that's the end of Chapter 5. Honestly, this was actually nice seeing that we are in Nightopia, and of course we pretty much get to see the 4 main characters again, and of course Owl. Some people honestly didn't really like Owl in Journey Dreams, but give him a little credit, he was actually trying to be helpful, if being a bit specific. And also the fact this is that Starlight actually has some new friends, and now she has a name that she can call her own. And the fact, I think what's really also impressive is that, well, we're actually getting more into the lore and exactly who the second creator was. And, well, that's all I'm pretty much going to say. This was actually really done, Danny. Always really awesome. And I'm looking forward to what's coming up next. And I hope you guys enjoy this. I know that I sure did, even though I did kind of stutter a bit. And sorry about the interruptions. Sometimes the dogs can get a little wild. But anyways, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this. And I'll see you all later. Hopefully, we'll figure out what's going on in the next chapter when it comes to be. So, this is Ashley. I wish you all a good day. Ciao, ciao.